Alright guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So today's video is a information-packed video. We want to go ahead and pull back in and relook at some of the things that we talked about earlier, and one of them is being Bill Gates buying up farmland here in America and also Canada. Alright, we want to discuss that and go more in depth on all this stuff because he actually spoke out on why he's doing it. Next up, I want to discuss the roach milk. I've had a lot of comments and questions about roach milk. So let's clarify that. So we're going to cover that as well. And we also need to discuss federal agents in the prepping communities. Federal agents here on YouTube trying to get your information, trying to find you out. So we need to discuss that. All right, guys, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get this article up here for you. I'm going to flip through on my phone so I can read it off to you. Bill Gates tells Reddit why he's bought so much farmland. Now we as preppers and conspiracists, we've been looking at it and we're going, he's doing this to control our food. One, he's either going to be sitting on all these hectares of land and not grow anything, or he's going to be doing this to push his cultured meat and also his vegetable protein products. If he locked down the farmland and things like that and no one can actually produce, because you bought it all, you kind of monopolize the market and you're the only person producing food. All right, that's what we've been looking at, that's what we've been thinking. So let's go ahead and get into the article here. Microsoft co-founder and philanthropist, I love how they always put that with these guys when they're billionaires, responded to questions about his farmland investments during an Ask Me Anything session on social media platform Reddit this weekend. It's the first time Gates has publicly commented on land purchase made by entities associated with him and his wife Melinda since they were named as the top private owners of U.S. farmlands by acreage earlier this year. Now this is March 22 of 2001. This is an old article, but it is holding value as far as the information. And also the largest private owner of U.S. farmland by acres. So yeah, he owns the largest farm. I wanted to pull out, my investment group chose to do this. It was not connected with climate. No, it wasn't connected with climate. I never even thought it was. I think it's controlling food. And we'll go ahead and get into that. There's an estimated of 242,000 acres is what this of last year, and I know they've actually acquired more acreage. This is part of a border 269,000 acre land portfolio belonging to the couple associated entities across 19 U.S. states, with the largest holding in Louisiana at 69,071 acres, Arkansas at 47,927 acres, and Arizona at 25,750 acres. That's just three of the listing 19 U.S. states he actually owns property in as of this information here. And back in 2017, he paid $520 million to purchase 61 properties in Canada. So that's farmland properties. Now scrolling through the article here, a question was asked about what is the niche technology he believed would help play a significant role against climate change. I know guys, I know. And this whole thing is not about climate change according to him, but his response, we need a lot of technology. Synthetic meats is one of them. Energy storage, new ways of making building materials. All right, synthetic meats. I've been talking about this cultured meat, lab-grown meat, made from stem cells. That's the actual process. That's not a conspiracy. That's actual facts. It's grown from stem cells. Yeah, and that's the meat. That's not the Impossible burgers and all that other stuff. All right. When asked about synthetic alternatives, his response, I don't think the poorest countries will be eating synthetic meats. I do think all rich countries should move to a 100% synthetic beef. While he questioned if cell-cultured meat will ever be economical, he said that the plant-based protein makers like Impossible Foods and Beyond Meat have quality roadmaps and the cost roadmaps that would make them totally competitive. He owns a lot of the fake meats. He's got investments in a lot of the fake meats, the cultured meats, and also the plant-based meat stuff. Things that are grown with GMO foods. I know they've been forcing GMO foods down us for years. Kind of makes you wonder about all the tumors and all this other stuff that gets developed. Although there's no proof that that's actually the cause, but there's not enough data that was actually collected about GMOs before they shoved it down everybody's throat. Just saying. So, my thoughts on this. I believe he's sitting on this land to put a stranglehold on the food production process. He owns or has stocks owned in artificial meat, synthetic meats. He has it in plant-based meats, GMO fueled burgers. Well, it's not a burger, man. It's freaking plant vegetable protein, TVP. When it comes down to the stranglehold on what you can and cannot have, and we currently know that this new administration's whole thing is this whole Green New Deal, as a business aspect, is genius. On the quality of life aspect, on what we should be allowed to choose what we eat, is nefarious. They're getting their hands on what we are going to have available to eat. That's what this is. And then they will have the market monopolized. It's just going to be them. You won't be able to get your burger because they're trying to phase out red meat. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to be using stuff like this. Now, when it comes to Roach milk, I did a video on Roach milk. I had a lot of people commenting and stuff, and yeah, it's funny. Okay, how do you milk a roach? You don't. Milk roach is the enzymes from processing roaches, kind of like almond milk, stuff like that. You know, they process it and get the juices out of it. That's what roach milk is. It's the enzyme. They're not milking a roach on its teats. That's what this is. Yeah. So, I want to clarify that. Now the big one. Federal agents infiltrating prepping communities right here on YouTube, the internet. They're there to get your information so they know who you are. This is what I've been seeing on the internet since even before I started this channel. Okay, it's just constantly. I mean, I've even been accused of being a federal agent, mainly because of trolls that don't get their way, stuff like that. People from other channels that couldn't make it, they just start slinging stuff, and a lot of people are just unhinged. But let's go ahead and talk about this. A friend of mine, another fellow YouTube creator, had contacted me. I won't say the person's name or the situation, but they were losing subscribers and couldn't. You know, what was going on is that another creator got upset with them and started spreading that they were a federal agent, using YouTube to collect all your information and find out preppers. Well, one, I know this person, good friends of mine, they're not federal agents. Two, you're right here on YouTube. You're watching me right now, which means you had to type in something. The internet is fully bagged and tagged. Anytime you hit a keystroke, it goes on record. Every time you go to a prepping channel to watch something, you're on record. Every time you go to the store and buy a large amount of stuff using a debit card, it goes on a record. They already know who you are. They're not sending people on YouTube, federal agents, to do a YouTube channel to see who all comes in. Here's another thing. The people that always say stuff like that are always attacking small YouTube channels under 10,000 subscribers. If they were a federal agency, you would see the viral videos take off. And next thing you know, they're at 1 million subscribers. That's where they would be at. Not struggling to get 3,000 subscribers, but they're the federal agents. You know, I'm all for conspiracy theory. A lot of conspiracy is built in truth. But then you got the wingnut conspiracy theory. There's no factual evidence on anything. It's just completely out there. It's just way out there. Guys, when you click on any link on the internet, it's tracked. All right. My links that are in my description, all my affiliate programs, all that stuff, there's a tracker on it. Let me explain what a tracker is. The affiliate program, the company, gives me a special link. When you click on it, it notifies them that you use my link. And if you buy something, I get my percentage of it. That's how they're able to track where that came from. That's all the internet. That's all the algorithms. That's the internet. It doesn't matter where you go. It's there. Anytime you type into Facebook, Google, DuckDuckGo, it doesn't matter. The internet is ran by the government. You think they're going to give you a free speech platform and stuff without keeping track of you? No, of course not. You can put up all the social media platforms that are right-wing, conservative, all that stuff. Social media is ran by the government. Sure, a company might come up with their own thing, but it still has ties all together with the government. Look at the situation, what happened with Parler. They wanted to shut down. What did they do? They contacted the sponsors, everything, the internet, and they put it down, even though they were a right-wing social media platform. An answer to Twitter is what it was. They own the internet. So what they do? They shut it down. Anything on the internet is tracked. This is why I talk about watch how you say things in the chat. Watch how you say things on video. The reason being because it's being watched all the time. All right, they know who you are. I was in the service. I was in prison. They know who I am. I'm bag tagged. They got everything they need from me. Got a driver's license? They know who you are. You got a cell phone? They know who you are. You got internet service? They know who you are. Do you pay your power bill in your name? Do you have anything in your name? They know who you are. So when I see stuff like this, about all this crap about its federal agents, I look at it and go, the hell? Really? Actual preppers, we already know they're watching us all the time. So what we do, we try to move our stuff out as much as possible with little to no evidence that our stuff has been moved to different locations. That's what we do. We know when we purchase stuff, even with cash, all the surveillance cameras, everything else, hey, your face is there in that store. You don't think that they can't run facial recognition? Target runs facial recognition. Did you guys know that? Probably not. Doesn't matter. They are watching you anyway. Snowden proved that. So go into someone's YouTube channel because you get bent out of shape at them and call them a federal agent. It doesn't make anything factual. And two, if you're on the internet, you must not really be worried about federal agents watching you because they're watching you anyway. As soon as you type in something. It doesn't even have to be YouTube. Anywhere. Anywhere. That's what always gets me when people's like, yeah, man, make sure you use cash, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. Dude, it doesn't matter what you do. What you got to do is after you get your stuff, disperse it. Don't keep it all in one spot. That's how you keep them from knowing where your stuff is. They know who you are. They always have. They always will. The government's not going to allow you to move freely. They don't allow you to move freely. You can't even walk down the side of the road without a cop stopping you and harassing you when running your ID. And that's actually against the Constitution because you're actually supposed to be able to move freely without being impeded. But because of new laws, regulations, and all this other crap that they shove, they do whatever they want to. That's the reality that we live in. So for those that beat on their chest, we need to do this, we need to do that, well, you're an idiot for putting that stuff online. You talk all this big stuff, but every time you type in something, it doesn't matter. My channel or anybody's channel, a forum, doesn't matter. They track it. So all you're doing is painting a big target right on you. You go in a nice little file. That's the truth. People need to wake up. There's a lot of people out there that are what I call wing nuts. All right, they are just, no matter what, they're just crazy about everything. Everybody's out to get them. And they type some of the stupidest shit I've ever seen. It's one thing to follow up conspiracies. It's another thing to be batshit crazy and the cat lady. Just saying. So my buddy over there, the Angry Prepper, he did a video recently on this. Should be a pop-up there. He had his own little rant on this stuff. Yeah, I fully agree. I fully agree. I see it all the time as a YouTube creator. If I go to Walmart, it doesn't matter where I go, I got somebody saying something. Hey, the fact is, you can't walk outside and scratch your ass without the government knowing about it. And that's it. And we live in a free democracy. We live in a free country. We live in a country with a persona and a fantasy imagination that we're free. So if you really sit down and think about it, are we free? Are we really free? Do we own anything? You buy yourself a piece of property, you pay taxes on it to the day you die. You buy a vehicle, depends on what state you're in, you got vehicle tax every year. Got to have insurance. Got to have all this stuff, forced to, or you're in trouble with the law, you're non-compliant. Yeah, something to think about, guys. All right, definitely appreciate you hanging out with me. I want to cover all this stuff because I want to talk to you and get you to really look at stuff. I piss off people all the time because I'm blunt. I go straight to the point. I don't beat around the bush. I'm telling you exactly how things are. If you don't like it, okay, be butthurt. Me, I speak my mind. I speak truth. That's what I do. I tell you exactly what things are. I don't sit there and beat around the bush and hide around stuff. I don't do that. Do I watch how I phrase things on YouTube? Yes, I do. The reason being is because of this platform. I've already discussed it. As soon as you go to upload this video, it runs a processing check. It takes every word I say, it puts in a text format, and it's ran through an algorithm system. If I said any words that they deemed are flagged for their own purpose, I get hit. For those that say you need to go to a different platform, apparently not listening. All of the internet is controlled by the government. All. You have a false sense of security, of false sense of freedom at BitChute and all these other places. It's a false sense. Sure, they're not bothering you right now. They're logging everything. You cannot upload anything on the internet without it being logged, going in a file. That's the truth. All right, guys. Speak to you later.